My name is John. This is Blaine. We are co-founders of a software development cooperative called Limeleaf Worker Collective, but tonight we're here to talk to you about a product that we're making called Limecast. Not everybody wants to be this guy, and I don't just mean his personality. There are many podcasters in the world, about 3 million active meaning, they released an episode within the last 3 months. And a lot of them are very niche. They're a very small audience. They don't care about making millions of dollars from ads. They don't want to grow infinitely. They just want to talk to maybe, 500, 1,000 people once a week about something that they passionately care about. And that's who we're going to service. So podcasting, I don't know if you know or have heard of the small web. We don't want to get into it. We've got to move fast. Look it up. So it's essentially a movement where it's not anti-platform, but it's more anti-large tech. Podcasting is sort of the original small web technology because it's open, it's easy, and it's inexpensive. That's one of the key things that we're going to focus on when we launch ours. But it's built on standards. You don't have to log into anything. There's no proprietary protocols to podcasting. You just put up an MP3 file, and you're on your way. It's easy. Anyone can create one. We're actually even doing it, so if that is any proof of how easy it is to make a podcast. And the tools for putting them out, editing them, completely, anybody can use them. And you can do it almost literally for free. Like there are podcast hosting services where for $3 a month, that you can get almost unlimited distribution of it. So now I'm going to turn it over to Blaine.
Thank you, John. I hit the front one forward. It's not clicking. There we go. Yeah, so as John sort of alluded to earlier, our ideal customer is somebody that's small, niche, talking about their heavy metal music or how they brew beer or things like that. Something around like 2,000 monthly listeners perhaps, maybe more. If somebody gets bigger, of course, it's no big deal. And they want to do direct support to their listeners. They want to get financial support either through donations or subscriptions. They don't care about ads. It's just a different space that they want to play in. Most of these people might be playing more on the Fediverse, whether it's through the Blue Sky protocol or Mastodon itself. And if they want to make any money on the weekends for just beer and weed, like maybe that's good enough for them. And they don't need anything like a big Creator, Spotify podcasting platform. And this is going to be perfect. Again, on the small side, we're very keen on privacy. So no listener profile, no tracker, no ads, no any of that stuff. Minimal analytics for them to understand their audience a little bit. Zero AI bots at all. None of those people want to use that stuff. You can host it on your own server, or we're going to run our own instance. So if you don't want to care about hosting it, then you can use ours. Again, monetize your subscriptions and donations. Alternate ways to get distribution, and we're going to build it on minimal text, literally HTML and CSS. Right now, it doesn't even have any JavaScript because there's no need for it. You go to a website, you play audio, and you listen, and there it is. And if you want to run it yourself, it'll be a single binary. You take one file, drop it on a server, run it, you have your entire platform all to yourself. The goal specifically is to just ensure listener and creator privacy and agency. A lot of the bigger platforms are just mining data for money. But these people just want to actually get their voice out, and they don't care about any of that stuff. And they don't want all of their audio files living on a server they don't control. So that's who we're sort of focusing on. So it's a very niche market, and we're totally fine with that. If people want the big platforms, there's plenty out there. Go have fun. Again, steady income for us. There's 3 of us. We've worked in big tech for quite a while. We just want to pay our own beer and weed money. If it gets to pay for our mortgage every month, that's fine. I don't care. We all love the open standards. We've worked in the open space for quite a long time, and we just want to promote that as much as possible. And we want to enjoy just working on it. I think a lot of the stuff that sort of we worked on in the past just became a churn for us, and we just didn't enjoy it. And now this is ours. We're going to enjoy it, and if it means not making as much as we used to, fine. That's totally fine. A few screenshots for you. So it does actually exist. It's not just vaporware. The top left for you is just the homepage right now. Go to the homepage, you get your own URL, lists all the podcasts. That's pretty straightforward. On the right is just the admin dashboard. Fairly similar. Change the title, change the audio source. And just to show you how versatile it was, we just dropped the RSS feed into a Linux podcast player, and it works just fine. You don't need Spotify. You don't need a dedicated Apple Podcast app, which it all will support. But you can just rip a free podcasting RSS feed player from anywhere, and it'll work. If you want to help, there's a few ways. You know how to design. Great. We suck at that. We're not that good at it. We can scale it. If you want to code, that's great too. You can even do testing, promotion, or documentation. It's actually all open source. If you want to compile it and run it, you do have to know Rust though, so just fair warning. And that's our repo right there if you want to go check that out. If that's not you, if you want to help us on the distribution side, you could be a customer. If you want to come try it out, we'll get a beta up soon. If you go to limecast.net right now, you can sign up and we'll send you a link for it. And just tell people around if you sort of agree with the vision that this platform is for. Share those with other people, maybe other nonprofits, other co-ops, other student groups, what have you. If you want to do it monetarily, that would be great too. We have an open collective page dedicated to the project. Donate 50 cents. I don't care. Donate 500 cents. That's fine too. Whatever helps would be greatly appreciated. And I came in a minute early. Just setting the bar.
So we're opening for questions. Who has a question? Right over here. Do you mind standing, please?
Thank you for the presentation. I had a little podcast. It's kind of dead now with some RPI friends back in the day. And I explored creating something very similar to this. So it's really, really cool to see you guys talk about this. So I have two questions. One, and this might be maybe a longer answer, I'm not sure. How does a co-op like this work? Because the idea of, not against big tech, but a smaller, more personable, more equitable sort of community is really interesting. And two, what sort of, or do you plan to support the podcasting 2.0 standards in the RSS feed, and what does that look like?
Yes, we'll do the podcasting 2.0. That's sort of like on the roadmap, part of our SLC, which is different from an MVP. It's simple, lovable, and correct.
Nice.
You're welcome. Find us after the co-op question. That's going to be a whole longer thing, but if anybody wants to learn about that, join the circle and we'll talk about it.
Thank you so much.
Anybody else have a question? Okay.
I would like to know about the mobile application. So can I use your one in the mobile? Like I use the iPhone, I can download and use or not?
Yeah, absolutely. You don't need any special app for this. It's like any podcast feed. It's just an RSS file. You can use Apple Podcasts, Spotify. And that's the other thing that we're going to do for customers on the SaaS version is we'll register you with all of the podcast directories, because discoverability is one of the key things with podcasting. If no one can find your podcast, no one's going to listen to it. So no special apps needed, no anything. It's just put it into Apple Podcasts, people can subscribe, and we take care of the rest. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
How will it generate profit, in the words of the big business people?
Well, it's interesting you should ask that. So the SaaS version will have a monthly low fee. Blaine has seen the ridiculous spreadsheet that I've put together to do the pricing exercise. I'm a product manager from long past. We'll charge a monthly fee. It'll be none of this discounted per year. It's just very straightforward. You give us $5 a month, and we know how to run these things very efficiently and very cheaply, so we'll still make money. We can serve literally terabytes of a podcast and still make money at $5 a month. So,
Sorry. Can I also add on to that question?
go right ahead.
Okay, so I know
Chris is the one watching the clock. I'm just going to talk as long as they'll let me.
the main thing with it seems to be no one has to pay anything, of course. and it's very like small, and no one wants, like, if you don't want to make a huge amount of money off of it, if like, say someone using your service does have like a Patreon or something, that lets them like have bonuses or something, would you have a way to give, so if someone has a Patreon, would, like, there's bonus content or something, could you host that bonus content, I guess?
Yes, that's part of the long-term vision here is like if you want to offer, well, we'll integrate with not only Patreon, but the Open Collective is very similar thing.
Yeah.
Different model, or Ko-fi, K-O-F-I is another way to do that.
Ko-fi.
And so we'll be able to do something similar to that. So how it sort of relates to podcasting is you have the general public feed that everybody can pull up and listen to. But we've toyed around with the idea if you want to do a premium feed. So if you paid the creator $5, you get a dedicated RSS feed, only that has additional episodes in there, maybe longer form content and something like that.